Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Rodriguez, and today I will be giving a speech on veteran suicide. How many of you know someone who has served or is currently still serving in the United States military? How many of you know someone who has served in the military and has committed suicide? For me, it is personal because I personally know someone who has committed suicide. A little background on me is I served 4 years in the United States Marine Corps from 2009 to 2013. And I deployed to Afghanistan one time in 2010 to 2011. The reason why I'm giving a speech on veteran suicide is because, like I said earlier, I know someone personally who committed suicide. His name was Sergeant Smith, and he was a friend and a mentor and a brother to me. He did 8 years from 2003 to 2011. He did one tour in Afghanistan and in South Korea under Operation Enduring Freedom. He was born August 18, 1985, and tragically passed away on November 5th, 2012, because of suicide. He was suffering from PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, which I will touch on later, and TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. Every day a U.S. veteran commits suicide. And as tragic as it is, we're still learning about it today, trying to find the causes, the statistics, and the warning signs that one will show when they are contemplating on committing suicide. And with this speech, I will inform you on some of the causes, some of the statistics, and some of the warning signs that one will show. One of the main reasons one will commit suicide is PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. The events, post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition triggered by experiencing or seeing a traumatic event. The events that transpire in the heat of battle will haunt an individual to his core. Not only will it follow him on a day-to-day basis while lucid, it will follow him into his dreams and nightmares. And for some, the only way to permanently escape from those living nightmares is to turn off the lights crudely but effectively. Another cause is failed or diminished relationships. Being separated from their family due to deployment, which will take them away from their family for months at a time, will take a toll on them, their family, their spouse, and their children as well. Their failed relationships due to being away physically and emotionally can push someone off an already shaky edge. Another cause is self-condemnation, which is the blaming of oneself. In the heat of battle, you have, for me, you have a Marine to your left and to your right who's there to have your back. And when times get rough and you're in a firefight, the person to your left or to your right may not make it out. And that is the reason why some will say, well, if making out alive wasn't hard enough, surviving the tragic event, when others didn't, it can make you wish you never did. And those are one of the causes why a veteran will commit suicide, because he feels that way. He feels like, during this time of war, my brother to my left and to my right was killed, but somehow I survived, and they wonder why. Some of the statistics of suicide rate are: deployed veterans had a 41% higher chance of committing suicide than the general population. 61% of non-deployed veterans had a higher suicide risk than the general U.S. population. Within 3 years since discharge, there was a 33.1 suicide rate by non-deployed veterans, which was higher than the 29.7 suicide rate of those who were deployed. The rate of suicide was higher within the first 3 years after being discharged. Another statistic there says that there's 22 deaths of a veteran a day. Honestly, that is way too many. A more recent study, which surveyed 1.3 million veterans who were discharged between 2001 and 2007, which was the years of the Iraqi and Afghanistan war, found that there were 1,650 deployed veteran and 7,703 non-deployed veteran deaths. Of those, 351 were suicides among the deployed veterans, and 1,517 were suicides among non-deployed veterans. If you divide that up, it's about one a day. Even one suicide by a veteran is too much. Some of the warning signs a veteran will show is they're separating themselves from their loved ones. One of the signs that Sergeant Smith showed was separating himself. Once he discharged in 2011, we didn't see him as much anymore because he lived in Pennsylvania. And so once he got out, he distanced himself from those he loved. No more texts, phone calls. We didn't know what was going on. And the only ones who knew were his family who were there with him. And by creating this distance, they feel that it excuses them from the guilt of carrying out the act of committing suicide. Another warning sign is a cry for help. They'll inflict damage to themselves, not only physically, but they'll give up on responsibilities like paying bills or showing up on time for work. One of my last warning signs is giving away beloved personal items and making amends for past transgressions. By accomplishing the disseminating of the beloved items and righting off wrongs, they will believe it will help when contemplating into the act of committing suicide. They'll give away things that they loved, their cars, laptops, things of value they will give away because they know they can't take it with them. A review of what we went over were causes of veteran suicides, some statistics on veteran suicides, and warning signs to stay aware of. Every day, at least one veteran will commit suicide, and because they believe it will help them permanently escape the issues they are facing. One suicide is too many. So I ask you, the next time you see someone who is serving in the military or has served, please tell them thank you, because a simple thank you will go a long way. And that concludes my speech. And I will show you my audience. Thank you.